stuck. I'm going to put the stand up as well. I'm going to sit back on the bike so my weight is against it. And I'll do this with no throttle at all. Here we go. Right, so instantly jumped into gear. Clutch pack would be stuck, or right, so she's been draining now for 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, had a nice cup of tea. So the 3 5mm Allen bolts are one there, and one there. They are different lengths, so just take note or write down a bit of card or make a note of where they come from. I've got my drip tray underneath, so I have cracked some of these. So I'm just going to undo them. Try not to make this too long-winded or boring for you. There's one. So I'm going to put them in like a clockwise pattern on the floor. These shouldn't be excessively tight. There is torque settings for everything. What I've done also is I've put, try not to drop that in the oil, the sump plug. See, that's a short one. So I'm going to go 1 o'clock, so 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock. I put the sump plug back in with a new copper washer on and tightened him up. Again, the torque specs are in the book and the owner's manual, so I'm not going to give you specs really. It's up to you to find that out. So this is the third one. That's quite a long one. That's a bit gumpy on it. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then obviously you will have some oil come out of here because it's the oil filter. So take the housing off. We've got our catch pan underneath. You can put a rag over the exhaust and footrest if you want, but just check then that that rubber seal isn't perished or split. Sometimes they'll come in the oil filter kit. Mine didn't, but I'll give that a wipe round and check the condition, make sure she's all okay. I'll get the old oil out as well later on. It's good as well idea in the garage to have a bit of plastic down or something on the floor, no top or something. So anyway, let's get on with it. Like I said, you are going to have oil out of here. It's the filter, so the filter just pushes in. So I tip the rest of the oil out of the filter. I'll show you the filter then. So the filter goes in with our nipple going in and the rubber facing back. There is an O-ring on that side as well. Just make sure that doesn't get stuck inside the housing in there. So I'll give this all a clean up and then we can put the new filter in and tighten everything back up. Welcome back. Right, so while you've been away, because I need to take the clutch casing off to get to the clutch basket to obviously free up them plates, it's pointless putting the oil filter and everything back in at the moment. So what I've done is I made myself a little card drawing and I've marked off where all the Allen bolts are, including the oil filter ones. And then as I undo them, I'm going to poke them through the card just to keep the orientation. Now underneath there are some of the bolts have got wire hanging clips on them, so So I got to make sure when I undo those that I don't lose the clips, because they're taking some of the wires. To get to it, what I've had to do is remove, you see that, the footrest, a brake assembly. From the front was a 14mm bolt, undone that, and then a 17mm at the back, that's carrying the exhaust hanger as well, just to give me room to get to these bolts underneath. So I'll undo those, and then we can have a look at taking the casing off. And I think I'm going to call that a night then for tonight. So I'll take these bolts off, and then when we come back we'll have a look at getting the casing off, okay? Right, we're back. Just for going for the night. I'm too excited, I can't wait. What I've done is, there's my card with all the different length bolts. As you can see, they are all different lengths pushed through, and my cable clips as well, so I know where everything goes back. This one has also got an earth strap behind it, so again I've marked that up as being a strap for the earth behind that one. So let's have a go. So we had a little bit of movement. Oh, she's going. Yep. Right, so that's gone. Let me just check everything's clear. Yep, I can't see anything that's going to foul. Our strap might get in the way, but we can have a look at that later. So this should now slide off the dowel pins. I'll show you what they are in a minute. Sorry if my arm's in the way, she's free. Ah, the gasket isn't too bad either, so we will have more oil drip out. Let's put that down a minute. Watch that nothing falls out. You should have your little clutch push pin there. Hello, welcome back. Right, we're in the cold shed again. Right, that's your clutch basket. Into the waffle. All you've got to do is, if you look on the basket, you can see those two little indents, marks. And then if you look at your clutch plates, they're all with double scallops, double notches, whatever you want to call them. So that's the orientation that was originally here. So to get your basket or your cover thrust plate off, there's 10mm bolts, and you do them in a star pattern. Dunk, 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 dunk. Back them off, then take your plate off. Next up, you're going to take your plate off. Obviously you've got a rod behind there, your push rod and everything, so just be careful of anything dropping out. Without taking the basket off, there's other things you do, but I just want to take the plates out now, so I'm going to take this front thrust plate off. Sometimes it can be stuck. Mine was a little bit sticky. Try and keep the plates as they are at the moment. You may want to get something behind to help. There it goes. Right, so just be careful. So obviously I've got a little O-ring on there as well. I don't want to try and lose any of that if I can. So we'll put that down. And then this is our main friction plates. They look quite meaty. We will measure them and have a look. Now, like I said, you've got these two little reference points here, and they've all stacked in the same order, so hopefully they can all come out in one. You've got a friction plate, and then a steel plate, and then a friction plate, so you'll get the pack out in one, take it on the bench. So we just go one. There we are. Okay, so that's as they came off the bike. This was the front cover, so this is the back of the plates. So I'm trying to keep them in the same orientation they came off. And straight away, I can see the problem is the first few plates and steel plates are stuck already. That's steel plate. Then you've got a friction plate, then a steel plate. But then the rest, if I put them upside down, the plates are not too bad, but they are jammed together. If I get a little pick, you can see what I mean. These plates should be free like these ones, just loose. But obviously, see that? Over time, they've stuck together. So what I'm going to do is, I'll separate them all and lay them upside down. I'll just separate them gently. Material wise, they're not bad. So we'll just keep separating them. Like obviously there's a steel plate by here. I think it's just because it's been sat. Lack of, I don't think there was a full amount of oil in there to start with. And they've just stuck together. So what I'll do is I'll give them all a good clean off with some brake and clutch cleaner first. I'm just trying to go in the groove there. There you are. So I don't damage the friction material. And then obviously that's the last one then. So yeah, so it's a clean up now. Give them all a spray, clean them all up, and then we're going to soak them in some oil, probably overnight, some fresh oil, but trying to keep that stack as it is. Come back and I'll show you soaking in oil. Stay tuned. Right, just a quick check. I've got most of them in the oil. This is one of the steel plates. They're not too bad. They're marked a little bit, but nothing too bad. Now, according to the book, the tolerance for these, for the steel plate thickness, is between 1.5 and 1.7 mil. So I've got a digital vernier caliper. I've zeroed them out. I'm going to check. So that's 1.57, 1.59, 1.56. So that's well within the 0.5, 1.5 to 1.7 tolerance for the steel plates. I've checked the others as I've been cleaning and dropping them in the oil. So this now is the friction disc, the front one, and that goes that way round. So these are between 2.9 and 3.1, and it says the minimum weigh should be 2.6. So that's 3.7. I'm checking it. A few pads around 3.6. Caliper's had a little dump at the moment. Let's have a look. 3.7. So that's averaging 3.6 to 3.7. All the other plates were around that same thickness. So to me, they're plenty of meat left to go back on. They're well within the 2.9 to 3.1 tolerance. So I'll put that one in the oil as well. That way, and that's the two little divots that we were talking about earlier that they all got to be lined up with. So I'll drop that in the oil. I'll show you that then as well. So I've got a bin or a bucket, paint bucket that I've cleaned out with some degreaser first. I put some fresh oil out of our container in, and I've dropped them in one at a time, cleaning them. So I'm going to leave them soak, probably overnight now. And what I can do in the meantime is I can start taking the old gasket off the cover. It isn't in bad shape. I could probably, as an emergency, I could probably get away with reusing the gasket because it's now broke. It looks like the original, quite thick gasket. But I do have one come in, so this is getting brittle, you can see. So I've got one on order that should be here any day. So I can clean this off, give everything a good clean, and get ready then. And hopefully, as soon as the gasket comes back, we can rebuild. Stay tuned.